Okay, in the previous podcast, I brought you up to the invasion of Poland. There'll be a little bit of a repeat of this in the documentary I'm asking you to watch. But the documentary focuses on the machinations around the invasion of Poland and the signing of the non-aggression treaty between Hitler and Stalin. And much of this is covered in Schneider, the reading for Schneider this week. Now, for Schneider, I'll let you know, or I'll post what I'm looking for from Schneider. I think you got a sense from the quiz that you took on yesterday. I don't go into, you don't have to know super detailed stuff for this class. That would just drive you crazy. And that's one of the things that people hate about history. So that's not the way I roll as a professor, but there is material, there are terms, events, that kind of a thing, dates that you do need to know about. But I'm a big believer in signaling you on what you need to know about. So in the Snyder reading for this week, really what I want you to look for is the invasion of Poland and how Hitler and Stalin divide up Poland and between them. And they start implementing their murderous systems. Stalin had already created his system. He goes into the eastern part of Poland, also captures the Baltic states, starts executing military officers of the Polish army. So we have mass atrocities by Stalin. In a very sinister way, Stalin is a bit more efficient in Poland because he's been practicing more. And of course, I know I'm talking about the devil here and the monster, and I'm not saying it approvingly, but this is one of the things that Schneider points out, whereas the Germans are just as murderous, but at this point, less efficient in the western part of Poland that they've captured. So be sure to know how Stalin and Hitler have divided up the have divided up Poland and the beginning of the murderous regime in both areas. And look at the maps of the Molotov-Ribbentrop line, which in the book is page 124, just to get a sense of how Poland is divided up between them and how they go in and start implementing their death machines, I guess is the way to think about it. Now, the other aspects of it, of the details of those chapters, I'll post in a little bit what exactly it is I'm looking for. So basically, by the end of this week, you should be up to snuff on the rise of Hitler, his consolidation of power in Germany, the evolution of his anti-Semitic decrees in Germany, the capture of Western Europe, the refusal of our Western European territories by Hitler, the Rhineland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, the refusal of France and Britain to get in the way of Hitler because they have no appetite for war. And this that series of lectures builds up to the documentary, which is the capture of Poland and then the machinations between Hitler and Stalin, and reinforced by the Snyder readings. Snyder goes into more detail about exactly how both murderous regimes acted when Poland was divided up between them.